Hello, 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 hello. This is your man Nicholas Shepherd from the Shepherd Family Enterprise Business Administration Information Systems Consulting. And we are having a session today, and basically our session is based on a topic that I have been pondering over, and it's more of an intellectual awareness. I'm not going to get off in too much of it, a lot of different things, but I would like to talk about some things that we all need to come to terms with, and that is basically understand certain concepts. All right. And the concepts that I'm talking about is basically concepts that involve the understanding of who you are and where you want to go. All right. Now, I have been in situations where is that I really have been talking to a lot of different people. And The thing about it is that as I talk to people and I start realizing that there are a lot of individuals out here that really don't know what the hell is going on. Okay. Um, I don't know if that's like I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Okay. And I guess the environment which I was raised gave me a different perspective on people. And the thing is that since and I traveled around the world and I've been in a lot of different states and stuff like that, I never really, I was down in Georgia, I was in Texas, I've been to Chicago, I've been to Philly, I've never been to New York, I've been to Nevada, I've been to Wyoming, I've never been to Arkansas, I've been to Idaho, of course, California. Where else have I been? I've been Indiana, been through Indiana, um, and a couple other places, right? Even though my stay was brief, but I didn't really. When I went to these places, I was either en route to someplace else, or I was just a delay over there, or I stayed there for like, probably less than 10 hours. Okay, so I've been through those cities or states like that, but I have not. Some of these states I have not been there long enough to actually understand the general public. But I know for sure that there's certain places I have been and that I spend extended amount of time. I know for sure that there's a lot of different people out here that are lost. Okay. Um, I have been looking at a couple of videos, and like I say, Andrew Tate. I've been, and Kevin Samuels and stuff like that, and a couple of other speakers on men's rights. And I don't want to say men's rights because I don't want to go off in that direction. It is basically a general structure of in the African American society. Okay, and within the African American society, um, like you understand one thing. I'm in my 60s, so I grew up in a different era. Okay, and the era that I grew up in is like a post-Vietnam era. I grew up in the 70s. Okay, I was born in 1962, and I kind of built from 1972 onward. I started gaining focus on a lot of different things, even though I wasn't aware what was going on, because I got involved in a lot of different things in '72 because the guys coming out of Vietnam, they exposed a lot of young guys, especially like I was 10 years of age, and they got us involved in a lot of drugs and stuff like that, smoking weed and taking pills and stuff like that. My parents never knew I was doing this stuff, but what I'm saying? The type of people I was hanging out with was smoking weed, you know, testing cocaine and all that stuff like that. I was doing that at the age of 10, right? But I think Allah that I was never addicted to anything, right? Even though, like I say, I experiment a lot of different stuff, Angel does all different type of stuff, and I kind of, and that's why in the past, I try to remember some things in my childhood and I can't remember. People, and even guys who I was on the streets told me the things I've done. I did some notorious stuff on the streets and I can't remember it. Seriously, I can't remember what the hell I did because I was under the influence of these different hallucinogens, right? You know what I'm saying? When I was younger. And and a lot of guys younger than me, like I said, I was 10. There's a lot of guys younger than me that was experiment. They died, man. You look and say, oh, such and such died, man. They OD'd and this and that, and they found them dead over here in this vacant place, and they found them dead, and they wouldn't die by themselves. They'd be like two or three of them dead, you know? Two, can you imagine two or three, 8, 9, 10, 11 year olds dead? You know what I'm saying? Because they got a hold of something and didn't know really what it was, and they just heart stopped. Okay, and I was fortunate not to, and the guys I was with, right? Because we experimented a lot of different stuff. We was fortunate, man, not to nothing happened to us, man. Because the stuff we was involved in at a very young age, and the reason why we was involved in a lot of stuff because the guys come back from Vietnam. Now, I was talking about previously about the relationship that the African American man and African American woman has, and the relationship that the African American man and other cultures of society has. Okay, now I want to express something to my general audience. Okay, I don't say black and I don't say white because there's no country called black and there's no country called white. Okay, white and black is basically a movement. All right, it's not a country. There's no country called white. There's no country called black. All right. If you go any other country, they say whatever country they are in or whatever clan they are with or tribe, they say they are that. Okay. Now you can research where the concept of black and white and all that stuff comes from, and that comes from back when the Europeans first came over here and they was trying to distinguish the different complexion of the race of people that were actually, well, I'm not going to say race of people, but the culture of people, but depending on their country, how they came into from Africa, okay, or the European countries into this region. As you know, Africans have migrated throughout the world way before Europeans or the lighter color Africans, okay, or descendant of Africans that populates the world today, okay. Now, um, as far as who's white, who's black, there's no such thing. It's all about the culture, okay. What culture are you a part of? Being okay. Now, like I say, my grandfather, my mother's father, okay, is German Jewish, right, and Scottish. Okay, my mother is African, her descendant of South Africa and India. Okay. And so that gives her a mixture. My mother's family, okay, on her father's side were never slaves, okay? Ever, okay? You understand? So I am a second generation freeman. All right, second generation freeman. My ancestor on that route was never slaves. They were, they come from a whole different continent, everything like that. Now on my father's side, okay, going back on my grandmother's side, all right, they were Indians. Now I'm gonna explain something to you now, okay? I was looking at a video which really amazed me, and they were saying that which I already knew, okay, the Indians, which they called them, were Africans. Okay, yeah, they were Africans, and they didn't say they were Indians, right? They quoted who they were based on the tribes they were a part of. Okay, So since they quoted themselves as the tribe of the end, they never say, "Oh, I'm black," or this and that. They look at person based on the complexion of their skin, and that's how they judge them. All right. And there was a lot of different superstition about that as well that was carried out through history, through biblical times, okay, that was passed on from generation to generation, all right? And you talk about this concept was passed down through thousands of years, where that they pass this information down from one culture, tribe to another, all the way to what we see today, okay? Now, the thing is this right here, all right? You can read about a lot of different things based on, you know, our culture, where we come from, and you could do a DNA check. It's like that they had just had this Chinese person, a person from China. He deals with he does the DNA thing like that. He's a scientist, and he gathered something like 10 out of 10 different um villages or tribes throughout China. He did a DNA to them, and all of them traced back to Africa. And these are the oldest tribes in China. They trace back to China. And all of these Chinese, right, that derived that came into being, what you see today to today, all of them come from those tribes. Okay. And even in Africa, you have a lot of different tribes in Africa, right? And some of them have crossbred within other tribes like that. Some of them have been wiped out because of that. The Europeans went over there and influenced a lot of different things, or wars and stuff like that between Africans, different tribes and villages, and they wiped each other out for that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so um, knowing this, okay, we must establish, and like I said, I'm doing this because this is Black History Month. All right, and this is the reason why. And this is not the only reason why, because, it's always Black History Day every day of our lives, okay? Because every day there is an African American that have come up with some type of an ideal, some type of construct, some type of invention, okay, that they created, all right, through the resources that they had, okay? Just like myself, okay, I'm creating a database, utilizing the information that I have and the resources I have, and creating my own concept. Right now, there are individuals that say, "Oh, you mimicking this, mimicking that," But you know what? The only way I can learn is by gathering information that's already there. You understand? So it's impossible for me only understanding English, about the psychological aspect of English and communicative part of English, and reaching out and gather information in English, can I obtain the information I need to create anything, right? I have to use the resources I have to be able to explore the different things that's out and about. All right. If it's not English, I have to I won't be able to read it. I won't be able to understand it. I won't be able to interpret it. Okay. So that's really ludicrous that someone would say something like that, right? So um I had to go for what I have. Just like Christians. Christians can't use, or any other culture other than Islam, because Islam have always been, since its conception, in Arabic. Now, even though the dialect may change and stuff, like it depends on where they are in the world, stuff like that, and how the glottal catch, affect the way they pronounce words, and they try to speak the Arabic language as well as they can. But here nor there, the whole concept is that there's no way we can put ourselves in a situation where we know everything. Are there individuals who know a lot of everything? Yes, they are. Okay. Now, I was talking to this person, okay, or this woman, and it's amazing how people, or African American women, just do not want to know the truth about the relationship an African man and African American woman must have in this society, because they are so brainwashed with the society in which we live, but they constantly trying to push a motive that isn't supported by all Africans, all African Americans, or blacks, who they, or Negroes, what they call it, And you hear a lot of people, say a lot of things like, okay, they say we part of the lost tribes of Africa. All right, well, um, there are lost tribes of Africa until you know what tribe you're from. Then you're no longer lost. Okay. So if you read the Bible and it say, okay, the lost tribes of Africa, and you did a DNA and you know what tribe you're from and you can trace all it back, all you got to do is just do a DNA. And no matter what concept, no matter what trickery or fuckery they may say that people use to mislead you to believe this and that, all you got to do is take your ass there. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm trying to do. I'm trying to establish myself, get enough money so I can go to Africa to see exactly what others have been relating back to us through the media, saying that, well, the Africa that they put out there is not the Africa that we're going to visit. I have a nephew. Um, he'd been to Africa, like more than 5 or 6 times, right? And not once have he experienced anything that he felt that was jeopardizing his life, because if he did, he probably wouldn't have went back. But he have went back, and he traveled basically all around the world. And I'm thinking, as far as his idea, he been doing it all his life. Now, one day, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set him up, and I'm gonna have an interview with him. I'm gonna talk to him on the phone, and then I'm gonna tell him that I want to interview him about his um, his trip to Africa. And I'm going to, and he was one of the last persons that I thought that would go. Okay, now you understand, I was in the military, okay, and I traveled around the world. But a person that comes from the environment that I live in, I grew up in, and he's way younger than I am. He's like the same age as my oldest daughter. And well, is he? No, he's older than I think he's older than my oldest daughter. I think. Because I think, because I was in Okinawa. I mean, I was in Iwakuni in 1986, and I think my daughter was born. I think my daughter's born in '85. I think it is. She can see you born in '85. I think. But we was overseas when my daughter was born. Okay, in Iwakuni, Japan. Right. So I know I was over there in '85. Right, because that's when all that stuff went on overseas. Okay. Anyway, um, I was talking to this young lady and a couple other young women, so I let you know. And I gather information based on the information that I received through educators. Now, these not fly by night individuals who said, "Well, someone had told me." They were able to get with intelligent people, okay, that knew how to speak the language, who knew how to write several languages, who know how to decipher a lot of different language, historians. They got all these people together, people with power that was able to go get the information if he couldn't, and then bring it back. Now, the information they was able to gather together, they come with these different results, and the results that they basically gathered was the fact that they were able to come to a conclusion, and the conclusions that they come to, right, is based on facts, all right? But there are people out there, no matter what the facts are, they still want to believe a lie. And I just can't fathom this. Why in the world is someone show you something, okay, and you can't produce anything other than that, okay, that they are not telling you the truth? You understand? It's like giving someone else the dice, and your whole world's worth you hand to this person, and then based on what he throws down on the ground, that's what you betting on. You betting on his hand. Okay, you understand? And you're not sitting at the table. Okay, so if you're not sitting, okay, it's time for prayer. Okay, let me go pray right quick, and I'll be back. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Okay, so okay, so what I'm going to do right now, okay, is try. What I'm trying to do is try to express a point, and the point I'm trying to express is the fact that most of us really do not know the direction we want to go as far um, as a group of people, and a lot of our African American women or descendants of African women do not understand the whole concept of being a person that represents a cultured group of people. And what I mean by an African cultural group of people that have been removed from its original birthplace, okay, to a country that was populated by Africans, which they call Indians because, well, that's what they thought they were because when they left Asia, that's what they were called over there, which they actually were African as well. But whatever the circumstances were that created that name, I don't know, maybe derived from something, maybe it meant something back then. But today we call them Indians, and they called the ones they seen Indians because of the fact that, they looked it like they had the same complexion, the ones that was over there. Okay. And they weren't saying black and white. They were say basically what it was is that they was judging people by the complexion of their skin, and the lighter you were, it seemed like the more pure you were. But they didn't understand the fact that the reason why their skin was that complexion because man, they were based on the biblical text. So that you know what I'm saying they were cursed. All right. So and you can read that, in some texts and stuff like that, And I'm not saying that is the reason, but most of the reasons is because of that depends on where you are on Earth and the position of the sun over a extended period of time. The further you away from the sun, the lighter your skin. Okay, so that's a milder way to put it. But in the biblical sense, they say one thing, and as far as science concerned, it says that it took hundreds of thousands of years for a person to come, to be the complexion of an African, which is a dark complexion human beings, to a lighter complexion human being, which that's take the resemblance of the ones you see today. Um, so the thing is this right here. I was listening to the video and um, uh, um, Kevin Samuels, um, a young lady was talking to him, and and I think I expressed this before, and she was saying, in most African American women, they say they no good African American men out here. Well, the first thing I say to them is this right here, okay? What is your participation in this? Okay, what have you done to create a greater society of African American men? What have you done? And with they don't have an answer for this. All right. Because the first thing they say, well, that's not my job to make a man. It's their father's job. Well, if their father wasn't around because their mother wasn't the type of woman that instilled the affection to her husband so that he can be an example to his son, then it's a repetitive stage to go on and on. I don't care how much you complain about. I don't know. You can make 1,000 excuses for it, everything like that. Everything is a result of a woman's decision. The African American woman's decision. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the European women's because most of the European men, based on the conglomerate culture that they're in, based on the structure of society in, they are in charge. Okay, they are clearly in charge of what goes on in their society. Okay, we are the ones, as the descendants of Africans, do not understand the fact that we take a second position, in existence with them, and they have put the African American woman as a forerunner in our culture because they feel like, well, you know what? If we get them, they'll follow them. The woman gonna follow us because we got the money. Okay, don't give it to the man, give it to the woman. And as long as the woman has the money, he's gonna follow behind her, and he gonna do what she says. Okay, and like I said in my previous video, the European man is a man for his children. Okay, and whatever the woman says, he's going to believe. You understand? And he's going to dictate to society what he feel is right, which pacifies his woman. He is a man for his children. So when he goes out, he be a man for his children. Okay. But everything is dictated by what the woman says. But she follows behind him. You understand that? She follows behind him. Now he makes the overall decisions, okay? But he's a man for his children. So when his son grow up, his son will replicate him as a hard worker, as a loyal man, a man that's, get out there and do what he got to do to protect his family and all this stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Because the European woman knows that she cannot protect her family without his help, without his hand. Okay, I'm not talking about one man. I'm talking like if a group of men come in there, now you got some bad, don't get me wrong, you got some bad women out there. Okay. They got the guns, they got the knives, they do martial arts. I'm saying you got some women out there that would put a whooping on a couple of guys, man. I've seen some videos where some women put a licking, a small woman put a licking on a couple of guys, big guys, and knock them out, man. So don't get me wrong, okay? You know what I'm saying? There are women out there that can handle their own. But the whole thing is that though that is not the norm. The norm is not a woman going out there and protecting men like that. You know what I'm saying? You always have a man protecting a woman, and he provides security and die if need be for his family. And a lot of these guys out here, you know, they take this, what they do, they stand behind a woman, like, hey, well, whatever, okay. But like I was explaining in the past, my whole ideal, the reason why I am the way I am based on the things I've seen in the past, based on the people I was raised around when I was growing up in the 70s, you know, and what I was exposed to in the 80s while I was in the military. I'm talking, I would have never known the things I know right now if I didn't go overseas and I seen how the other cultures interact with each other. The men were in charge. Okay, the men dictated what was going on. The woman, basically follow behind them. You got men that's in charge, man. Now the reason why other cultures do not like Americans because a lot of times Americans go over there and try to influence their women. So, girl, you a fool. I wouldn't listen to that man. You let him do this, and they try to put a bad narrative in their women's head. And these people of these different cultures and different tribes or clans or whatever you want to call them, they're not having it. They're not having it, man. They're not having it. You're not gonna go over there and try to change the construct of their community, of their country, man, because you getting away with the African American man. You understand? And the European women that are doing it, hey, you know, I don't know, what I'm saying, what the deal with those women are. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I know they ain't back with the same team. You know what I'm saying? I'm told they batting, I'm told like they batting against the other team. So what happened, they carrying the bat like the other team instead of carrying the glove. So the thing is that you gotta understand one thing, that there's a difference, okay? Like I said, I talk to a lot of women and I talk to a lot of men, right? And there's a lot of men out there, and there's guys out there that are, they whatever you want to call them, so that but they're not in a position to intermingle with the opposite sex. You know what I'm saying? So they deal with the persons in their own sex because that's how they were introduced to society. Now, if that isn't the case, and you are a man out here trying to dictate certain ideals, and your son look at you as a weak man, he's not going to follow you, man. Okay, he's just not going to follow you, man. I'm so like he's going to follow the woman, man, because the woman is, and like I say, women, the first thing most African women do and stuff like that, as soon as they get in the bind and they talk about this Black Lives Matter stuff and all the other crazy stuff like that, the first thing they do, they get on the phone and call who? See, well, I know who can keep you in check, you know, and they call the police on you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to listen to you. They want to do what the heck they want to do. They want to go wherever they want to go. They don't care what you say. If they want to walk out that door, they're going to walk out that door. They're going to wear whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? And then they want top of the line men. Now, the top of the line men that they get are not top of the line guys, man. You know what I'm saying? Not in their character state. Those are not top of the line guys. Those type of women are dealing with guys that are basically submitting themselves to them. Okay, because I'm gonna give you an example. If I was a single man, okay, and went to college, got my master's degree, has a successful business, making 500 plus, $1,000 a year, and I'm a strong African American man, structured by a strong African American father, grandfather, great great grandfather, and I'm looking for a wife. Okay, so I'm strong. I'm surrounded by strong men. You understand? Which I was. I was surrounded by strong men. So if I'm looking for a woman, I'm looking for a wife, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for a wife. And a lot of these women aren't wise, man. You know what I'm saying? They're not wife material. Okay? They're competing against a man. What in the hell are you doing competing against a man? And as long as women are doing that, the African American man gonna always have problems. Okay? There are solutions to these different things, And like um Kevin Samuels was saying is that a lot of women they have this hyena attitude. They want to machine gun Kelly explanations and overtalk men so that a man can get a word in as soon as and then she get louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. And then what happens is that with a man, with some of the weekend men, what they do, they'll sit there and listen to this stuff, man. And they get aroused with it. They get mad. Me, I shut up. I walk away. You know what I'm saying? I walk away. Don't be associated with the women. Let them see, and they only influence weak-minded men. Now, I'm gonna tell you something, okay? Just because a man have 30 guys behind him, guns, stuff like that, all the stuff like that, and if he a weak-minded man, he a weak-minded man. I'm sorry, a woman shouldn't be able to tell you nothing unless she works for you. You understand? She shouldn't be able to tell you nothing about another man. Nothing. Okay? You understand? If she needs to be talking about anything, she'd be talking about a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because she shouldn't even be in a man's face long enough to understand what the hell he's doing if she's not her man. Okay? What you worried about what another man is doing? You better be worried about what your husband doing and what your man is doing, your mate is doing. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be worried about nobody else's man. You know? And you need to learn how to be a woman. And a lot of women don't want to be around women, strong women that submissive to a man, because man, they look at that woman as being a weak woman. You see? And they look at and they raising these boys to think that way. Well, yeah, if I don't listen to a woman, they look at me as being a weak man because I'm intimidated by a woman. Man, come on, man, really? That's their analogy. That's what their concept is. They think because you don't listen to them and you stand up to them, and you a weak man and you intimidated by them. That's what the explanation is, bruh. Don't even fall for that, bruh. Don't even fall for that, man. So you make a decision, you stand by it. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't want to follow behind you, man, and listen to what you're saying, make them kick rocks. You see, like the leaders of these communities, like I say, like Kevin Samuel, Andrew Tate, and all the other men that's out there that talks about these different types of people. You find your woman, okay? You find your woman that you can work with. All right. She ain't got to be a fly girl or, a woman out there when guys whistling at us like that. You can make a woman beautiful, believe me. Okay, you can make a woman beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about like keeping the house with hair. No, you can make her beautiful. I mean, you can make her beautiful for you, because um, just like Snoop Dogg, I was listening to one of his thing. He was talking about how Tupac, you know, um, when he met his girlfriend, and he was talking to his crew, and they was trying to tell him, man, leave that woman alone, man. We out here, we can get these bees and all, blah 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 blah. And then Tupac told Snoop Dogg, hey man, that woman loves you. You need to marry that woman. And he did. Now he been married with her for like 20 something some years. And she's not like none of these other women out there. Look how Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg, he ain't no soft guy. You see what I'm saying? I'm just being up and up, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he got a good woman, man. And a lot of women, man. I'm just like, he's the only man that I've known, okay, that's out there like that. That the rapper that been married that long, man. I don't know any other ones, man, that stuck with a woman that long, have kids by him, man. Now I know Tip, you know what I'm saying, he him and his wife, he got a lot of kids for that, you know what I'm saying. But his woman's kind of, structured a little differently, man. She's a woman that really, you know she's like that stand by my man type thing, but she's obviously that's the type of woman he wants. But I don't know what type of things going on in their household. Man, I don't know, a lot of bickering or whatever the situation is. Like, you know what I'm saying? In every family, there's gonna be a lot of bickering and a lot of conversation and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But Tip, man, he got his stuff locked down, man. Even though he does what he does, so that and you don't see his kids and stuff going through a lot of craziness, man. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause he tell his kids something, then his wife got his kids locked down. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they got going on is working for them. All right, you know what I'm saying? He got kids by that one woman, man. I don't know if he got kids out by another woman or not like that, but he got kids by one woman. There's a lot of guys out there, tough guys, got stuck on one woman, and they've been married to him a long time. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to indulge with multi, well, I'm not even going to that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm crossing the different barriers of understanding. Okay, and I don't want to mix one thing up with another, because there's be a conflict. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, as a man, you need to figure out what you want in life. You need to look at yourself and say, okay, what would make me happy? Okay, now myself, you know, I, like I when I got older, and I'm just I love my wife, and I love my son mother, and I love both my son's mothers. So I love very dearly, and I do anything for them. But they decided that they didn't want to do the things that I was inspired to do. You know what I'm saying? Through my faith and through my understanding of a man's role on earth, you know what I'm saying? Because they were influenced by outside forces to believe one thing and one thing only, you know what I'm saying, which is false. Okay. But that's good with them, you know what I'm saying? They teach women to be selfish. You know what I'm saying? And is a reason for that, which you can look at some other videos and that explain that to you as well. But the whole thing, the whole concept of it is the fact that, you know, if you are going into business, if you're a businessman, and you really want to be successful, you need a woman that stand by your side, man. You need a woman that can help you. When they say helpmate, they mean helpmate. All right, you know what I'm saying? Every culture or denomination outside of Christianity, and I'm not saying Christians, all Christian women are like, flipping men off like that, but a lot of them, some of them know their place in the home, okay, but they follow the strict rules of God, and they watch that man, you know what I'm saying, under a microscope, and make sure he's following the specific passages of the Bible, and make sure he's doing what he's doing. But if you really understand the cultural background of the African American man, you see what I'm saying, it's a conflict. And if you research everything back, if you go through the cultural thing, you'll find that the cultural thing was changed, right, to interpret things differently. All right. So, and like I said, I don't want to be specific about it, because I don't want to cause any conflicts like that, right now. But as I got information and start doing more of structured conversations, and have a preliminary report about the things I'm talking about, so I can, give you references and stuff like that. You know, I have references. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I can give you references on a lot of different things. On statistics and stuff like that. But that's not what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to express an ideal, okay, and a concept that we as African American men need to approach. Okay, we need to stand up. And teach our sons, man. Quit thinking that charity is free. Number one, okay. Charity is free. You need to be able to take care of your own community. You must stand up. You must learn how to. Just because you didn't throw it down, I don't mean you have to pick it up. Quit thinking that well, all these people, I ain't picking up none of this stuff. I'm tired of picking about these grown at. You know what? Some child is watching you be persistent. Some young man, some male child is watching your example. And it's impossible, okay, for a child from birth, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, okay, that whole concept had to be developed over years of observation from a child. And those children grow up and they start doing things based on what they see. But if you stop in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2, 3 months, it takes a child, man, longer than that to grow up, man. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm talking about? I'm sorry, like 3 years is not long enough. 4 years is not long enough. You have to do this repetitively for 6 years or more for a child to see you doing something 6 years or more, for them to understand the moral character and the reason why things need to be the way they are. The problem with our African American men right now, we do stuff for 6 months and we give up. Forget that, man. There's no way in the world you'll raise a child in 2 weeks and the child don't change, you just throw him out in the street. But he ain't learning nothing. He ain't doing what I say. You wouldn't do that, man. You won't do that. Don't treat these African American young kids, man, like that, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a role model, this kid, and it takes longer than 2 weeks. And sometimes, man, you just have to be an example, man. You can't. Something you're not gonna be able to talk to some of these mothers, man. The child have to see you and see the difference. You have to talk to people. Plant the seed. You plant the seed, watch it grow. Water it. You water it by your efforts, by your example. You know what I'm saying? By your kind words. And you don't have to have a long dialogue. You do things. People, they look at you and see things. I've done the same thing in my community when I was growing up. And I come from a rough area, man. I revived a whole community. When I left, the errors went down. Okay. And the reason why I went down, which I want to say, because a woman created the destruction of the community. Okay, and when I left, everything went to crap, man. And see, the thing about it, no one want to say that. All right, no one. Now the people that was around there, they know. Okay, the gentlemen around there that was out there doing their thing, they know how much effort I put in that community. And someone said, "Man, you a fool, man. I wouldn't have done that, man. I wouldn't have did this. I would, man, forget that, man. I ain't doing this, and they ain't paying me this and that." And you look at the neighborhood like, okay, nobody's paying nobody to do nothing. There's no initiative. Okay, somebody got to pay you to have initiative. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, come on now. People have to pay you to care. Where you get that from, man? We're not women, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't, you never get paid for satisfaction, man. You're not a prostitute, bruh. That motherfucker gotta pay you, man, to do shit, man. In your own community, man. That's your home, bruh. You better listen. You better sit up in where you dwell, man. You should be able to walk up and down the street. You know what I'm saying? Without anybody bothering you, man. That grew up in that community, man. At least like a quarter mile radius, if that, man. So people should know who you are, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's say within 3 blocks in front of you, 3 blocks on the side of you, 3 blocks behind you. That whole diameter, people should be watching your back, man, because they know that you're a good guy, man. Because you have pulled in groups of guys that does, you go to other people's neighborhoods, do the same thing, groom them guys, talk to them. You got to work with the children, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm so like I work at a job where there are young men just don't care, man. They don't care, man. They with these women, man. They let these women take care of them, everything like that. They just don't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. And like I said, I'm in my 60s, man. I'm told like I work very hard, okay? But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to break myself down to a point that I'm worthless at an older age, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like when you got all these young guys sitting around watching me work, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm told like I'm older. When I was younger, yeah, I would work until I would like let till these guys fall out. Till they dead and gone, man. I keep doing, but as you get older, man, you know what I'm saying? You got to preserve your life to make sure that you are there to be example to your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. I would like to see my great grandchildren. You understand? You know, and I'm not gonna destroy my health trying to prove to some grown man. You understand what I'm talking about? And because there should be a time where someone else should carry the torch. Someone else should carry the torch. Someone else should say, okay, listen, someone that you mentor, someone who wants you, and then they take, well, you're not able to do it because you ill, you sick, you're getting older. There should be younger men out there picking up the slack, carrying the torch, doing the things you're doing, keeping it going, man, to improve the communities and make things better. You got too many women out there, man, think that everybody, for one thing, you got a lot of women that think that a lot of guys are gay. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to take from their kids or trying to, "Well, you ain't their dad," you got a lot of women, man. They just, and like I worked at a job, man. I was listening to these women talk, man, and they was like, and it was some strange shit, man. And I looked at them, I said, man, what type of fucking environment you live in? You know? I couldn't believe how these women was in a group, and this had a corporate job, man. You know what I'm saying? How these women sitting around and plotting on men, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm the family members, bruh. You know, teaching their other women, man, to treat men like shit, like they're criminals, man. And then expect the man not to be offended by that. So the whole thing is that what I'm saying, we must understand one thing. We must understand the fact that we cannot do anything by ourselves. Okay, we got to work together. All right. And what I've done in my whole construct, my whole ideal, my business that I've created, everything like that, I started something very good. Okay. And the thing that I've started, basically is something that I feel that is, that'll benefit us as a group of people. Like I say, I have my business website, what I'm saying, that I have, that I really encourage you all to go out and check it out, what I'm saying. Um, you know, read about it, look at it, see if you can participate in what I got going on. Let's have, a Skype meeting and stuff like that and see where we can, network together. And come out to my site, what I'm saying. I have my site out here, bit of consulting price negotiator sheet, what I'm saying, and make a small donation. Okay, make a small donation to our cause, so that we can get the information out. We can train. I can spend more time working with the youth. I can spend more time working with people, getting their business up and going and stuff like that. You got people out there that need help, man. You know, I don't like if you don't want to do it, I can do it. You see, I'm to like, but you have to make, you have to help. You got to donate something, and like I said, $1, $5, man. I'm talking like, come on, man. $5, man. I'm talking like some of you wipe your butt with $5, man, in a damn week, man. 30 seconds. You know, take the $5 and donate it. Donate it to the Shepherd Enterprise, and so that we can get things moving, so that we can develop a strong foundation, so that we can help these young entrepreneurs get themselves together. All right, so that they can provide something for their grandkids and their great grandkids or their children. Okay, we got to make this work. Okay, and that's what the Shepherd Enterprise is about. Okay. All right. So again, you can also go out to my blog site. Okay, my blog site have a wealth of information. You go out there. You can donate to us through my page. You have to join, of course. You can go through my many forums. I have a lot of discussions out there that I have already put out there. You can go. You can join some of my discussions, make comments about it and stuff like that. Um, there's a lot of different things you can do. All right, within this community, let us know. You can start a topic, and then try to pull people into your topic. Talk to people. People answer. Got Q&A and everything like that. Okay, just join us, man. Just join us, and so that we can all get together and work things out. All right. And again, like I say, you can go out to my site. You can just if you go to YouTube, right, and you type in um, Shepherd Family Enterprise, okay, LLC, and you push this, then you will get a lot of information, okay, concerning my company, okay. And if you don't want to do that, right? If you don't want to do that, okay, you can go to your browser, and you can type in Shepherd Family Enterprise LC, click enter, and it gives you a lot of information about my business and where there's a lot of different things that's going on with the Savannah Enterprise. Okay, all right. So go ahead, go out there, figure out what's going on, and once you figure out what's going on, contact us by email. You can go to my website and contact us. Um, and my website, I'm gonna go out here and show it to you. It's Shepherd Family Enterprise LLC at shepherdfamilyenterprise.com. All right, and also I would like for you to go out to my business partner. Okay, one of my friends, close friends, and he has a business called Auto Fleet Plus. Go out there, fill out an application, and you can send it to me. I'll send it to him, and then he'll get you rolling. Okay, he has he has a trucking business, and he's looking for drivers. So you can go out there and fill out his application and see where that leads you. And then, or you can come out and fill out our employment application so we can place you, and then we can see what we can do for you in the near future, or how you can help us, okay, on our different many projects that we are working on, okay, because we need people to work with these projects, okay. All right, all right. Again, thank you very much for sticking around um, and listening to us. I thank you very much for coming out. If you have any questions or answers, you put the questions down in the comment section. Again, please uh, like, share, and make a comment, and click the alarm button so that you'll be alerted whenever we create new videos. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Bye bye.